This is Treasure Rescue 21. Hi there, we're at Peacock Junction Antique Mall here in Calhoun, Georgia. We're gonna go in and see what we can find. Hello there. So today, straight away into this first booth, they had very nice porcelain pieces, vintage. They were just priced a little bit outside of my range for resale, but very unique pieces, some that I hadn't seen before. I thought this was going to be Czechoslovakia, but it was actually Bavaria, which I'm not really interested in right now. This flower frog or vase was very, very sweet, but again, the price was a little high for resale. I'm just panning through. Again, another piece I thought I was familiar with. I thought it was M.A. Hadley, but it was John Frank, I believe. That's the pottery that looks like M.A. Hadley. Not as valuable as M.A. Hadley. This was a beautiful Nippon piece, but I currently have 4 of them that I'm trying to sell. So even though this was a great price, it was just not something that I had to have. This looked like Fenton, but I really wasn't sure. And for $9, that could have been right on retail if it wasn't Fenton. So again, there was a lot of very nice pottery in this booth, but this was the very first booth into the store, and so I was kind of pacing myself. These pottery pieces are called motto wares, and they have like little sayings on them, and I do collect them for myself, but I was just trying to contain myself and not go crazy. But they definitely had a very nice collection, and the pricing was great on these. If I were going to pick one up, this is the one I would have picked up. I'm useful, so use me. I really liked that trinket, that little trinket dish. They also had a lot of glass pieces. You're going to see me pick up this wall pocket. This was the first thing that I put into my pile. It was only $7, and I'm pretty sure it's either Germany or Nippon. So either way, it's a nice, valuable piece and definitely worth more than $7. So I picked that up. This was another modelware pitcher, but not England, so I left that behind. Some Fenton, hobnail, cranberry. The price was a little high for resale. Some Wade Whimsies here for $3 each. And some vintage USA planters. So very nice booth. I really enjoyed this first one right off the bat. This shelf was a little sketchy, but I wanted to look at this bowl. It was vintage, but more of a hobbyist piece. I liked this glass, but it didn't really strike me as a quality piece, so I put it back. This booth really did have really true vintage pieces. This was a Staffordshire, England cup and saucer set, but I really wasn't feeling it, so I just left that behind. I haven't been buying a lot of these planters lately, even though they sell really, really well, but they have to be at a really good price. So this one was only $5. I thought it was the cutest thing, just like a little shoe. I actually just sold one like this, so I picked this one up. And then the duck right under it was only $2.25. So again, either USA or Shawnee, vintage from the 40s or the 50s. So I picked those up. This vase right here that I'm about to pick up was Japan. It was a little bit crudely made, and this enamel pot was really cool because it was actually a double boiler. I had never seen the two together like that. These candle holders were definitely primitive, meaning they were handmade, but I wouldn't burn candles in wooden candle holders. This was another booth that had very unique pottery, and the pricing was great, but this was super heavy and no way I would ship something like that. This stitched mat was really nice, but I felt like the shape and the size was odd. Again, another very heavy, large pottery vase. I was just scanning over here. Another large vase. This was like the bee and floral section, and it just gave me happy vibes. I really liked this vase that I'm about to show you. I loved the shape. It is signed by a familiar signature. I think I've bought this artist before. It was only $8, and with the coloring and the shape, I definitely picked that one up. I would love to know more about this piece. These resin clocks have stones or seashells in them, and they can go for thousands of dollars. I just don't know what to look for when it comes to these clocks. This next booth had a lot of dishes and pottery and glass. This slag glass was really nice, but I have quite a bit of slag glass right now. This I thought was a French piece, but it actually turned out to be Portugal, so it actually wasn't worth what they had it priced at. We are now entering the land of chenille. I think that's how you pronounce it. These peacock chenille blankets from the 60s, I believe. Really, really nice collection, and the prices were perfect. Not too high, and they had really, really nice things in here. This covered cake dish was very nicely painted, but it was a little bit more contemporary. There was quite a few contemporary pieces in this booth, except for this amazing McCoy bookend planter, and I was highly considering it for myself. It did have this chip, which y'all know I do not mind, but I actually forgot to go back and pick it up, so that stayed behind. This booth had a lot of pottery, but I was a little overwhelmed by how much there was in here and how good the prices actually were. So I didn't want to go too crazy, so I ended up not getting anything out of this booth, but this jar was really nicely made. Has a little bit of the same colors that the vase I just picked up has. They had some carnival glass, as you can see here, and some Fenton pieces, all very beautiful and very reasonably priced. But like I said, I kind of felt a little overwhelmed and I didn't know what to pick. This was absolutely gorgeous. It wasn't marked Fenton. They had EAPG on it, but I've never seen colored EAPG. I could be mistaken, so because I wasn't sure, I just left it behind. This was a Czechoslovakia glass bowl. I thought it was Murano at first, but it did have the sticker that said Czechoslovakia, as you can see right there. It was 25% off of $55. I meant to look it up to see if it was worth picking up, but I ended up forgetting to do that. My husband was interested in this piece, and so I picked it up, but it was a hobbyist piece, so we didn't get him. This was another contemporary piece made in Taiwan, I believe it was, but it was very sweet. It was very nicely made, and I could see it in a little kid's nursery, so I was just inspecting that. The vintage planters caught my eye. That McCoy frog was really nice, but it had a horrible crack. This one I had never seen before, that green upside down monkey thing, so I did pick that one up. I believe it was $4. All the other ones didn't really catch my attention, so I left those behind. I noticed these pottery pieces as soon as I entered. He had it marked as amateur pottery, but for $2 I couldn't leave it behind. The one next to it was badly damaged, so I left that one. I thought this was Italy, but it turned out to be not marked, so I really wasn't sure about it, so I put that one back. So I just picked up these two pieces and headed out of this booth. These vintage planters looked so cool as a big collection like that, but they just weren't for me for resale. This pottery fish caught my eye. It was signed, but it was a little bit more contemporary than I would like to see. This seashell bag was so cool. The florals on it was really, really nice. This was a contemporary booth, but I did notice this and I figured it was Italy, so I reached, and sure enough it was. But then I saw that it had a lip right there for a lid, so it was missing a lid, which I'm sure I could have sold it as a planter, but for $10 I really wasn't feeling it for something that was missing a lid. This next vase was another piece that caught my eye in this booth. It was more contemporary, but it was very, very thin and delicate, and I didn't want to mess with it for shipping, plus it didn't have a price, so I left that behind. Very nautical in here. I thought these seashells were something, but again, contemporary. This beautiful blue opalescent Fenton bowl, definitely had to stop for it. I saw this wedding cookie jar, but it was missing its lid, unfortunately. These cross stitches are doing very well for me right now on Facebook Market, but I wasn't really excited about the subject matter of that one. This Art Deco parakeet or parrot Bavaria planter was really nice, but I think the price was a little bit higher than I was willing to pay for it. This vintage planter caught my eye, but again the price was full retail on that one, so I had to leave that one behind as well. Venturing on into this booth, they had a lot of collections, some precious moments, some salt and pepper shakers, some contemporary pottery. These were some resin owls. I'm just scanning to see what pottery they have. This mug said "Rejoice in the Lord always." I loved it, but it was full retail, so I couldn't pick that one up, but it was really nice, and it was too small for me. I don't drink out of small mugs like that. This M.A. Hadley was really, really nice. And for $12, I don't know why I didn't pick that up. Now that I'm watching this, I do regret not picking that up. So I am actually coming to the end of this video now. I didn't pick up anything else in these clips that you are seeing. I did continue to pan over this last booth. This place was much larger than it looks on the outside. It just kept going and going. And so I will continue tomorrow with part 2 of shopping at Peacock Junction Antique Mall. So I hope you enjoyed shopping with me today, and I will see you in tomorrow's video for part 2. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.